Hi there, this is Phil Simborg on Backgammon Boot Camp. Mochi and I, and Perry Gardner, are running boot camps all over the world. We're starting out with some major ones before some major tournaments, before the Cyprus Merit Open in November, before the Las Vegas in November, and also the day before the New York Metro Tournament in January. And these will be intensive boot camps, and we're going to cover lots of ground. And one of the beautiful things about the boot camp is that if you sign up before you come, we'll send you a pre evaluation quiz. Not so much to test you, but to find out where you have questions or problems or weaknesses so that we can personally address them with you when you come to the boot camp. We have an agenda for the boot camp. We have some basic things that we know must be covered, but we also want to get individual, and that's why we're going to make sure that the teacher to player ratio is very, very high, and we have plenty of teachers there. Already have Michi and Dennis Culpepper and Ben Friesen as well helping us with the boot camps, and we have other teachers with the Backgammon Learning Center who are highly experienced who will come as needed depending on the number and mix of people that we get. But we're going to make sure we cover everybody's individual errors and work with you very, very closely on that. We'll split up into small groups of different types of errors, and that's one of the beauties of the boot camp, that kind of personal attention. And of course, we have Mochi and Michi, the number 1 and 2 players in the world, and me, I'm a pretty good teacher. Mochi and Michi will concentrate on the very, very top level players, and will also work with me on intermediate players as well. So intermediate players are going to get plenty of attention from Mochi and Michi as well as me. And beginners, we'll have a whole special group for beginners. So if you want to bring a spouse or a child, we encourage that as well. And they'll have a less intensive training, but it certainly will be fun and get them involved in the game more is our hope. Okay, let's take a look at today's problem. We have lots of simple problems that people miss all the time. And how many times have you been read in this position and you're just breezing along and everything is wonderful, and all of a sudden you leave a shot, he hits it, and you lose? It happens a lot, and you just curse your luck. And of course, luck is involved. That's part of the fun of backgammon. But quite often, it wasn't just luck. There are things you could have done ahead of time to prevent your getting into the position where you got hit and lost. And a lot of it starts with the bearing in. People bear in very casually. How would you play this 4-2? Okay, most people would simply bring in the checker from the 11. When you do that, your next roll is going to be very tough to clear the 7 point, and by the time you do that, blue is going to have his 5 point covered, so now is a great time to clear the 7 point. Yes, he might hit you if he rolls a 6-4. There are only 2 ways out of 36 to roll a 6-4, and if he does hit you, it's not the end of the world. You could easily roll a 5 or a 1-6 and still have some life after death. So the odds of your getting hit with a 6-4 and then not rolling a 5 or a 1-6 or a 1-4, all those combinations, they're pretty small. I'm not going to sit and give you those numbers, although top players could certainly figure them out, but they wouldn't need to here. We just know instinctively that it's right to make this play. Now, if the 5 point was covered, of course it wouldn't be right. What play would you make now? If the 5 point is covered and he rolls a 6-4, you're dead. So that makes the difference. You don't want to leave him the winning shot. So what would you do? Well, again, it looks like you have 2 choices. You can bring the checker all the way in. Certainly goes to a nice spot. You will get into trouble here if you roll double 5s. Double 4s works. So double 5s is really your horror roll here. Of course, 6-5 isn't fun either. Now you could bring the checker to the 7 and then play a 2 someplace else, either here or here. This has merit because you're killing 6s, and maybe if you roll a couple of 6s, his board will crash. But his board doesn't look like it's about to crash. You really want to bring your checkers into the high points, because the more checkers you have up high when you start bearing off, the later it will be before you will open up and leave a shot, or potentially leave a shot, and that means you'll win more gammons, and you win more games even if you get hit. So this is the ideal spot to bring the checker, and that's why this would be the right play, to bring it right into the 5 point. What if his board was about to crash? What if he had a much more tight fit board I would still make the same play. Because again, it goes to such a good spot, and if he doesn't roll a 6 on the next roll, he's crashing anyway. Let's do something like this. I would still bring it into the 5 point, which is correct. So killing 6s doesn't really apply in this position where he's going to be in trouble anyway. So again, it isn't always as simple as it seems, and the way to look at this is to play many other roles too. For example, how would you play a 6-1 from here? Well, the 6 is forced. Where's the 1? It seems like it wouldn't be much different. Most people would just play very, very quickly, but it does matter quite a bit which one you play. If you play this 6, let's do the forced play, and now you really have 3 choices. You can move this one, or this one, and one is clearly better than the rest. If you make this play, now what happens if you roll a 6-5? You leave a blot. 6-5 is going to leave a blot with anything, but again, you're getting a checker off of a high point where you'd like to keep your checkers, and this makes other rolls very, very awkward. For example, all kinds of rolls leave you odd. Actually, the best play is to continue this checker, to keep your checkers up high and smooth. Again, you do have a problem with 6-5. You also have a problem with double 5. But on all the rest of the rolls, you'd rather have your checkers up high. Let's just check it. So the way to get better at this is to just keep putting in different rolls and play them. It isn't that big a difference, actually. I thought it would be more than that. But I'm just playing around with different rolls, different positions, and practicing bearing in. And these small errors do add up, and they could make the difference if you're winning and losing. Hope to see you at a future boot camp. These are the kinds of things we'll be studying, and our main goal is for you to walk away understanding how to learn better on your own. Mochi's going to give his tips on how he prepares for tournaments, and he's the best player in the world, and certainly should be very insightful to see and hear that. And then we'll teach everyone the best methods for the doubling cube and for all checker play decisions, in addition to getting down into the nitty-gritty details like this kind of a detail. Thanks for watching. Phil Simborg, and if you're interested in the boot camps or more information about the Backgammon Learning Center, you can go to www.blcbootcamps.com or www.backgammonlearningcenter.com, thebackgammonlearningcenter.com for more information. We have 15 teachers that teach in 8 different languages on the internet all over the world. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.